While the world's headlines were primarily dominated by the Israel-Hamas war, another significant event occurred this week. China's Xi Jinping, Russia's Putin, and leaders of the Taliban, along with leaders from 130 countries, gathered for a meeting. Red carpets were rolled out, handshakes were exchanged, and a broader message of unity was conveyed to mark the 10th anniversary of China's Belt and Road Initiative. On the whole story today, let's put the spotlight on what has China achieved so far in the past decade, why this plan is called a debt trap for poor countries, and how the Taliban now wants to formally join it. The One Belt, One Road plan, also known as the Belt and Road Initiative or the BRI, was unveiled in 2013. It was Chinese President Xi Jinping's ambitious plan to play a more prominent role in global affairs and counter American influence. China aimed to construct bridges, ports, highways, power plants, telecommunication projects, and other infrastructure across Africa, Southeast Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the West Asia. This extensive project was estimated to be worth $2 trillion, and most of the projects were executed by Chinese construction companies funded through loans from Chinese development banks. A total of 152 countries have signed BRI agreements with China. Although Italy, the only Western European country to do so, is expected to withdraw next year when it comes to renew the agreement. The Chinese government claims that the initiative has launched more than 3,000 projects. China became a lender, a creditor on par with the World Bank. However, it faces significant criticism. Many experts and countries, including India, have accused China of engaging in debt trap diplomacy. Simply put, China provides loans to poor countries knowing they might default and then takes control of their assets. A prime example of this is Sri Lanka. In 2008, China helped Sri Lanka build the Hambantota port with a loan of approximately $1.3 billion. By 2016, it became evident that the port wasn't economically viable or profitable. And then the government defaulted on the Chinese loans. Then the expected happened. It was decided that China would take control of the port for the next 99 years to manage it. A study by Boston University's Global Development Policy Center has said that the BRI had delivered more than $330 billion in loans to developing country governments through 2021, surpassing the World Bank's lending in some years. Other examples of countries involved in the BRI include Zambia and Pakistan. In Pakistan, the project is known as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, that passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, aiming to connect Western China with Pakistan's Gwadar port. India has consistently reiterated its protest, asserting that this project violates her sovereignty. This month, China announced that BRI participants owe more than $300 billion to the Export-Import Bank of China. BRI nations were especially hit hard during the COVID-19 pandemic, as soaring inflation and high interest rates made them impossible to repay debts. People in BRI countries often complain that the majority of jobs at infrastructure projects are undertaken by the Chinese workers, who then send their wages back home instead of spending them in local businesses. Environmental concerns have also been a significant issue, as studies suggest that Chinese-funded power plants emit approximately 245 million tons of carbon dioxide annually, contributing to climate-altering greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, there have been complaints about corruption and project delays. Additionally, China's arch-rival, the United States of America, has expressed concerns that Beijing is using BRI as a pretext to establish military and naval bases worldwide. So what made headlines in this week's meeting? Vladimir Putin, Russia's president, was the guest of honor among leaders and officials from over 130 countries. It's worth noting that Putin faces isolation due to the Ukraine war and has an arrest warrant for war crimes. Interestingly, the Taliban has also expressed a desire to formally join the BRI and is expected to send a team to Beijing for discussions. It's important to remember that no country in the world officially recognizes the Taliban since it took control of Afghanistan. Now, Beijing has sought to establish ties with the Taliban administration, as Afghanistan may offer China access to valuable mineral resources. The question remains, What lies ahead for China, a country that's known for rarely forgiving debt and being secretive about its business deals? And also, what happens to the countries that are burdened by the mounting debt?